Good afternoon, dear viewers. I'm happy to welcome you on Sovelmash channel. This is Alexander Sudarev, and today we're going to make a video about the situation that is going on at the site right now. Right behind me, you can see the corner where the excavation works were carried out. Now they're fully completed, and the fertile layer is being restored. And this work has also been completed, judging by what we see. It remains to put out the fence, which has already been ordered, and in this part of the site we can say that the work has been completed. And what were these works? This is actually a very important place for the building and for the whole project, because this is where the cold water connection was made, and at the moment the connection has been successfully made, the water is connected and the pipe is pressurized. Now it is necessary to make sanation, that is, disinfection. And in the near future we can say that the Design and Technological Bureau will receive a functioning cold water connection. I congratulate all of us on that. And now we are standing on the final layer of asphalt. I can say that it gives me some special emotions, because most of our previous videos, well, we shot them moving on, let's say, temporary slabs. Sometimes even on clay, sometimes on backfill, on sand, on gravel. Well, we've been working on the final layer of asphalt for quite little time. And it is very pleasant that some of our employees are already starting to perform certain ritual actions. I can't call it differently. They do a full circle around the Design and Technological Bureau in a private car, without fear of getting dirty. I congratulate all of us on that too. But here we need to clarify that, well, you know, like a student that did not have enough time before the exam because it was only one night. So there is indeed a section of road left. We will now go there and talk about what will happen to it. We see that the work is continuing on the site. Now the soil is being removed. And it should be noted that we're still standing on asphalt, but not on the final layer, but rather on the first layer. And from here, we still have to fulfill the elements of landscaping. We see the kerbstone already installed. We see a small trench dug for the formation of the sidewalk. Here we'll have a gate, pedestrian entrance. And then the most difficult part of the work begins, in terms of this site at the moment. We see that the site is already leveled, we see crushed stone, we see backfill, of course, geotextile below. All this is compacted layer by layer, and it is ready for asphalt. But there is work being done there now. We remember that there used to be a heating main here, a puncture was made under the roadway on the other side. These works have already been completed there, the puncture has been closed, backfilled, the roadway has been restored, and everything is fine here. But on our territory, it is necessary to perform some more works. And it is worth considering that when you know how, you know, it was smooth on paper, but something went wrong in the real life, in the real situation. Because when performing the works, it turned out that it was necessary to make another puncture, but under our heating main, in order to make the final connection. The second cold water supply will also be connected here. The heat has already been brought in, it is already functioning, but we'll speak about that a little later. And the last spurts are left here in order to win it all and complete the work. The weather does not favor us. November is already ending, it's understandable. It's cold enough. But nevertheless, we will now try to put the first layer of asphalt in order to close the site, in order to minimize possible losses and difficulties. Because if we go into the rainy season, all this leveled, compacted area will be washed away. The cars which will drive there in any case, doing this or that work, will spread all this stuff on the asphalt, will contaminate it, there will be ruts. That is why we're trying to close the protective layer this year. But nevertheless, it should be noted that the pace of work is quite high. Now the pace is completely dependent on the rate of investment, as has been repeatedly said. We see that the excess soil is being removed, there is not much of it left, and this puncture that we will have to do, it's not as labor-intensive and complicated as the one we did across the roadway. Let's go inside the building. Now we have moved into the building, into the production area. We see a huge amount of construction material, tiles, ventilation lines, or rather, main lines that will be laid. And the most, let's say, visual thing that you can see now is what is above me. First of all, of course, these are trays. These are pipes that are appearing in increasing numbers, that is engineering communications. And of course, let there be light. It is true that one bulb is not connected yet, but nevertheless, the process is being carried out right now. We have already started installing a permanent source of lighting in the shop. There are fluorescent lamps, which are safe for human eyesight. And honestly, I will tell you that looking at the lamps of temporary lighting diode, the eyes are strained much more than this solution. Now the string is already fully mounted. It is just left to connect some lamps. On the other side of the shop, 3 strings have already been installed. Well, 2 for sure, and 1 is still being installed at the moment. In general, well, we can also hear the noises of the heat gun, which provides temporary heating. So far, this heating technology lives with us. But it is worth noting a very important thing. When we were standing outside, we were saying that the heating pipe had been punctured, the heat had been brought into the building, it is pressurized, and de facto hot water is already connected to the building. So in order for us to now responsibly start preparing the building for the connection of the permanent heating scheme, we need to do some de jure work. Now we're working with the documentation to get permission to connect the heating in the first place in the administrative building and in some of the workshops of the production part. Because in some rooms there are radiators mounted already, they are already connected to the system of pipes, again to connect them to the system. This is a very important task that we are currently working on. And I hope that in our next videos, which will be shot soon enough, I will be happy to be able to congratulate all of us on the fact that the heat has been supplied according to the final permanent scheme. But that's not the only part concerning the heating. The thing is that we will now move to the administrative and utility building, and we will look at the process of finishing works and many other things that are going on there. But the most important thing is that the climatic equipment is partially installed, connected, and certain components are being unbundled. So very soon the ventilation system should also start working. And this means both supply ventilation and exhausts, and the possibility of temperature regulation will also be performed, implemented. And I would suggest that we move to the administrative and utility building to look what is going on there. We have quite a lot of employees working in the administrative and utility building now. We see that the wall panels are being finished. Now we have already laid the tiles to level the elevator doors. Unfortunately, they will have to be raised a little bit. But everything is ready for that. And moreover, today employees of the company that installed the elevators should arrive on the site. They will adjust these doors according to prior agreements. And what is important, and we can really congratulate everyone on that, One elevator will be launched based on our agreements, and thanks to this, we'll be able to lift large-sized building materials to the second and third floors in order to reduce the cost of works and at the same time to speed up the process of their implementation. No matter how it sounds now. Well, I think you get the point. Here we will be brief. The room of the future cafeteria is now being cleaned up. Now, the same fate befell the showroom, or rather the exhibition space. And in the near future, these rooms will be completely removed, will be isolated, closed. And as you can see, we can already start painting the walls and completing the finishing. There are guys in the background laying tiles, so the process is in full swing. Well, there is a ceiling being painted on the third floor now. I don't think we'll go there together, but our cameramen, when they have a chance, so as not to disturb the guys, they will go up and try to capture those shots for you. I hope it works. Be careful. Here it is worth noting that now a lot of emphasis is placed on the completion of finishing works in the administrative and utility building in order first to abandon the temporary premises that we now rent in NETM. Secondly, in order to transfer all employees here completely and breathe more life into our enterprise. Therefore, the pace of work is inspiring. The guys are also engaged in the installation of air conditioning systems. They're installing them now. So let us run away from here and not disturb anyone. Well, for us to move here, it's quite a here now. In the administrative and utility building, we're now interfering with the active work. Here, the guys who are engaged in lighting have a break so we can talk quietly. It should also be noted that the tiles have already been laid on most of the area. Some of them are being laid, and the process of completing this work is not far away. Therefore, let's say, based on the pace, we see that working places are being created, and soon we will be able to start filling them with employees, personnel, both those who are already at our disposal, who are Sovelmash employees, and we will also be recruiting team members that we need for the functioning of the enterprise. And how soon we will be able to start this depends on the completion of construction, because we'll be able to start working at full capacity when we hand over the facility to the State Commission. Let's say it will be a kind of a step of the beginning, when we can officially start commercializing the project. Why are we standing near this laser? Actually, it's not for nothing either. In addition to finishing works, we are also building up production facilities, creating additional technological equipment, preparing tooling to start production lines. Now this laser is covered, as it is without a proper table. A special enclosing structure will be formed here to keep it dust-free, because now we'll be working on it as well. But the point is that we accepted the laser, we put it in its rightful place, and it was put into operation. But in order to actually use it, it was necessary to install a specialized filtration system, so that we would not get a workshop where white walls stop being white after a while. All these commissioning works are now in full swing. We have already showed you quite a large number of products in our chats. We have shown certain photos, so I strongly recommend you subscribe to our Telegram, Sovelmash channel, to the contact group, of course chat number 1 in Skype, where the number of places is limited, but still you can try to become its participant, because the number of people is updated. But even if you can't make it, don't be upset and subscribe to our Telegram channel. It has the latest and newest information. Regarding the development of angle grinders, the work is in full swing. We're testing new versions and more of new versions. We're negotiating with potential customers who show a great interest and initiative for us to take their orders, confirm it with contractual obligations, agreements, and start working on a full cycle. But unfortunately, we even have to restrain the intentions now, because, and I have already mentioned it, in order to start full-fledged work, we need to create the current areas, prepare the necessary capacities, and start working on a full cycle. Today it turned out to be a rather long conversation video. It did not turn out to be brief. It has been a long time since we talked to you in this format. I want to tell and show you everything that is going on here. I hope that at least partially I managed to do it. So please write your comments. Thank you for your support, for your participation, for your attention. Stay with us and see you soon.